Coming up tonight, the surge in COE prices and what's driving them up. Premiums are sharply higher for all categories.
Watch out if you've been shown this police pass belonging to Eric Wong Tung Hui. It's part of a new impersonation scam.
And guess what Suen is most excited about Apple's new products? I'll give you a clue, she can be a little absent-minded. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Dylan Ang.
Good evening, I'm Chow Suen. Now, if you're thinking of buying a car in the coming weeks, you might want to think again.
COE prices have continued to surge, with prices ending sharply higher than 2 weeks ago across all categories. Let's take a look. Now, the COE premium for cars up to 1,600cc closed at $49,640, up by $4,000. The price of COE for cars above 1,600cc finished at $61,190, increasing by almost $9,000. And the premium for open COE, which can be used for any vehicle type except motorcycles, ended at $62,100, a surge of almost $10K.
ST senior transport correspondent Christopher Tan explains what's behind the price surge.
So what happens is that, usually COE prices are a function of supply, right? The bigger the supply, the lower the prices tend to go, and the smaller the supply, the higher prices tend to go. But this time round, for this tender, the price increase actually outstripped the foreseeable decrease in quota from next month. And what's causing it? Well, traders are pointing to three main factors. One, extra wealth factor. The extra wealth factor comes from us not being able to travel, so there are savings from that. Also, the stock market is doing well. STI index is highest in over a year, so there's extra wealth from there. Property prices are doing well too. So I think people want to spend, and there are reasons to spend because that comes the second factor. The second factor is that there are a lot of new models. Mercedes is launching a lot of new models, including the S-Class, which is always very popular without case. And then BMW, also a lot of new models, including the M3 and M4. Lexus, including the new the first electric Lexus coming up. They are taking orders already. So I think all these things, on one side you have the wealth factor, on the other side you have a lot of new models. That's driving the market. Now, of course, I think people are afraid that from next month with a smaller quota, they will miss out. So the sellers are being particularly aggressive in their bidding this round, for fear that from next month they will have less chances of securing the COEs that they want.
Police are warning of a new type of impersonation scam that has resulted in the loss of more than $3.9 million, where scammers pose as officials from Singapore High Court or Interpol.
Police said victims are led to believe that they are being probed for money laundering offences and to hand over money or their bank accounts as part of investigations.
The public are advised to ignore unsolicited calls, telling them to surrender money and to not share personal information or bank details.
Also in the headlines tonight, another civil servant has been charged under the Official Secrets Act for leaking classified information, the second in a week. Noreen Jubilee allegedly sent details on school closures and home-based learning during the circuit breaker last year to her husband before they were officially released. Ms. Noreen was suspended from her duties as personal assistant to the Director General of the Singapore Food Agency last April, when police investigations started.
And looking at Singapore's COVID-19 situation, 15 new infections were confirmed today, with one in the community. There were no new cases from migrant workers' dormitories, and the remaining 14 cases were all imported. Now, the man at the centre of a new COVID-19 cluster in Singapore is a 43-year-old Indian national who has been identified as a likely case of reinfection.
He was discharged from hospital on April 6 after being deemed no longer infectious, but he went on to infect two other people, his sister-in-law and her husband.
Associate Professor Alex Cook from the Salisbury Hawk School of Public Health explains what this reinfection case tells us.
This was someone who was PCR positive, was also serology positive. Now, the PCR test was quite a low viral load, but they were still positive on PCR and positive on serology. Now, the assumption would be that with that, that it's probably not an active infection, it was an old infection. That would have determined what happened to the patient after being released. Now the problem is that now we're starting to see reinfection cases. It's not quite clear that a PCR positive and a serology positive combination still means that the person has recovered from a recent infection or not.
What's been trending on social media today? A milestone conviction in the fraught racial history of the United States. A white former police officer, Derek Chauvin, was found guilty of murder in the arrest of George Floyd, a black man. Americans who were anxiously awaiting the verdict reacting with jubilation and relief after the 12-member jury found Chauvin guilty of all charges. In a confrontation captured on video, Chauvin pushed his knee into the neck of Mr. Floyd for more than 9 minutes on May 25th last year, during the arrest of the 46-year-old. The verdict has been met with relief online as well, with many calling it progress and justice. One in particular stood out for me. Former President Barack Obama saying that the jury did the right thing, but true justice requires more.
And the clock is ticking for TikTok. The social media app and its parent company ByteDance faces a damages claim worth billions of pounds in London's High Court. Now, this is over allegations that they illegally harvested the private data of millions of European children. Anne Longfield, the former Children's Commissioner for England, who is filing on behalf of an anonymous 12-year-old girl leading class action, said that if successful, the children affected could each be owed thousands of pounds. TikTok said the case was without merit and that it would fight it.
After months of explosive growth in subscribers as the pandemic intensified last year, Netflix has tumbled back down to earth. The company's shares slumped more than 10% after it announced that just 3.98 million people signed up between January and March this year, badly missing its target of 6 million. Netflix is facing increasing competition from streaming services like Disney+, but it's predicting stronger growth in the second half of the year when it releases new seasons of shows like You and Money Heist. Now, this is something I am extremely excited for. And for those of you who have ever lost or forgotten your keys, wallet, work pass, Apple has launched a solution to that. The tech giant has launched a new series of products, including the much-anticipated Airtag, tiny devices that can be attached to items such as keys and wallets to locate them when they are lost. At its latest Apple event held on April 20th, the brand also launched a new series of iMacs, which boasts 7 color options and a purple version of the iPhone 12. So Dylan, so many things. What are you most excited for?
You know what? I think I need a new iMac, preferably the blue one. Hint, hint.
Oh, you wish.
Scenes of jubilation at Stamford Bridge, echoing the sentiments of football fans across England. All 6 Premier League clubs have withdrawn from the European Super League following widespread public condemnation. Now they are joined by Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan and AC Milan, who have also pulled out. Now just 3 of the 12 clubs remain: Juventus, Barcelona and Real Madrid. The English teams made their decision official via statements on their websites, while Liverpool owner John W. Henry went the extra mile, addressing the fans publicly in a video message.
I want to apologize to all the fan supporters of Liverpool Football Club for the disruption I caused over the past 48 hours. Goes without saying, but should be said, that the project put forward was never going to stand without the support of the fans. No one ever thought differently in England. Over these 48 hours, you were very clear that it would not stand. We heard you. I heard you.
With more than half of the proposed 12 teams out as of now, the ESL said it would now focus on efforts to, quote, reshape the project. Guess we have to wait and see what that means.
Now that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.